Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I posted a video a few days ago where we had an American official um, stating that he thinks that the Russian assets, the country's assets, uh, should be seized by the U.S. government and um, given to someone else, and that someone else could uh, pay for the reconstruction of Ukraine. I think the same thing. It was a German official also claimed. That's a lot for you, the free world. So the thing is, right now the EU goes the same path and suggests the same thing. So we have an article from Business Insider from May 9th, 2022 by Harry Robertson, and it says the EU should seize Russia's currency reserves to fund the rebuilding of Ukraine, the bloc's leading diplomat said. So Joseph Borrell, that's his name, the EU's security chief, told the Financial Times he's very much in favor of such a plan. Now think about this. What do you think? Can someone do something else with someone else's property? I mean, just put yourself in, and besides, that's not let's put yourself in let's say Russia's shoes. Let's use an analogy, a little story here. You get in a scuffle with the neighbor. Let's say you go over there and you destroy the neighbor's property. Okay, and then you have the bank where you have your money. The bank is not the judge. The bank is not the city. The bank is not the government. The bank is just another entity. You know what I mean? It's a bank that you put your money and you do financial transactions through. And without you being charged by a court, due to your damaging the property of your neighbor, the bank decides before that it will just seize your money, take your money, and will do with the money whatever they want. In this case, we're going to repair the damages of your neighbors with your money that's not theirs, and you were not charged or convicted of a crime yet. And even if you are convicted of a crime, then someone else has to determine that, not the bank. Here we have these governments and obviously banks and all that. They are not the judge here. They are another entity that you do business with. They're not the judge. They can't determine how to take your property, your financial savings or whatever you got in their banks. But since they think that it's very logical and should be done, then think about the free world. Is this the free world that you want to do business with? Because I'm telling you why. You might do something that the club does not like. We have to go back to the idea that the Russians think that they are in the right. They don't think they're in the wrong. The Ukrainians, again, they think they're in the right. I'm not here to decide who's who, what's what. I'm just saying. Now you can say, yeah, but maybe you thought you're in the right going and burning the property of the neighbors. Maybe I am, but who would determine that? We have organizations, we have institutions that would determine that. Not the bank, not the United States. United States is not the judge of the world, not the European Union, not Germany, right? So that's why it's I think they just uh, assign tasks and authority that they do not have. But if they do that, I think it's theft. But look at this guy, Borrell. This is how he's going to justify his seizing of someone else's property and using someone else's property according to whatever they think should be used. Uh, in the next paragraph, he says this. He pointed to the example of the US seizing Afghanistan's assets to compensate 9/11 victims and pay for humanitarian relief. Precedent, in this case, doesn't stand. either. I mean, do you think that the United States should have seized Afghanistan's for 9/11? What was the connection between Afghanistan and September 11th? Please tell me what was the connection. They were how do you call it? Harboring Osama bin Laden. So did Pakistan. So then, if you did with Afghanistan, why didn't you invade Pakistan as well when he was over there? Why did you freeze Pakistan's reserves? And two wrongs don't make a right. So if something I think it's not right, you can't just point out, oh, they did it too. Well, if you go by that, we're not going to have any laws and anything like that. We're just going to do it the way we feel like. There are questions. I'm not, I'm not here to determine who's who, what's what. I'm just asking questions. And I think I'm still allowed to a certain extent to ask certain questions. The European Union should think about seizing the frozen assets of Russia's central bank to pay for the reconstruction of Ukraine, one of the bloc's leading diplomats has said. Joseph Borrell, yeah. Um, and he pointed to the Afghanistan's foreign currency reserves. Okay, but then it was your country again, that country. Here is not United States versus Russia. It's not European Union versus Russia, as far as I know. And U.S. invaded Afghanistan, and they froze Afghanistan's assets. But here, Russia invaded Ukraine, and then we have the third party freezing third parties freezing. It's not the same whatsoever. But for people who think of a level of a 13-year-old person, yeah, I think that's the thing, and they could do that. It says here the move cut Russia off from around two-thirds of its nearly $630 billion of reserves. So this move of grabbing the money could Russia cut off about $630 billion of reserves. That's the people's money. It's not Putin's money, it's not Lavrov's money, it's the people's money. That's the reserves of the country that you guys are seizing. We can go to all kind of things like, oh yeah, but they're supporting. Well, again, you are not the judge. You're just a third party here. Yeah, I don't think you have the authority, legal authority, to do what you did, freezing the assets and thinking about doing that. I don't think so, but you see, and I have here an article. It's funny. I want to end with this one, where we have uh, Zelensky saying that he belongs to the free world. Um, that's why he's going to continue what he's doing because the free world. Well, free world, not free world. Look at what these guys are doing to the free world. They're not so free. So Zelensky today showed that Ukraine is part of the free world and Russia is alone. This is per Ukrainska Pravda. So Ukraine is part of the free world. The free world will be these guys freezing other people's property without being involved in it. They just introduce themselves over there. They're not the how do you call it, the judge, as I said. And Russia now, Zelensky, you are good, but tomorrow you might be bad, considered bad. And what are you gonna do? They're gonna treat you the same way they treat these guys right now. So I know you're talking just to talk because you need to be where you're at and you have to do your job, but that's the free world. That's such a, and I have many examples regarding the so-called free world who bombard the other free world countries and sovereign countries. You remember those, right? All right, and Russia is alone. Russia is not alone. But I'm not going to mention the countries that are not, turning their backs on Russia. You can say, well, they're dictatorship. Well, they're still not alone. You're China, you make deals with China. There's India, you make deals with India. Is that not a free world? India is the biggest democracy in the world, isn't it? Yeah, by population. So they didn't kick Russia to the curb yet. neither did China and other countries. Well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you in a moment.